Aloha friends, happy Moonday. This is Xamanxi. These are the Moonday timeless readings, my little moonstone here. And they're timeless readings because although they are channeled in the energy of Moonday, these readings are meant to find you in divine timing when you're ready for the messages that are coming through. And so starting off today, we have two cards that wanted to come through. One is discernment. And the other card is unity. All right, so discernment and unity. So what that tells me is that in the next several days, you are going to be challenged. You are likely going to be challenged with something that you're going to have to find discernment. You're going to have to tap into self and see if it really resonates for you. See if it's something that is for your highest and best good, and have discernment with it. And then also unity, coming into co-creation, being able to connect not just with your spirit guides and your highest self, or your highest versions of you, or your cosmic self, they're telling me, but also community. What are you developing? How are you developing community? How are you involved in community? How can you be more involved in community? This is what is going to help you through the next several days. So maybe look into going somewhere where you're going to be in community, or even just getting out into a place where you're surrounded by community is going to help you through these next several days. Let's see what else wants to come through for the next several days after receiving this Moonday message. What messages do we, we want that. Okay, what messages do we have that want to come through for the next several days for those that are hearing this message? What message, spirit, do we have for them that wants to come through? Okay, which one? Both, top and bottom. Got it. Oh, that was two. Do you want both of those? Okay, we'll go with those. Let's go ahead and start with these and see where they take us. Right. Okay, so the energy actually feels quite balanced. It's this alignment is what I'm hearing. Like it's a very aligned energy this week. So feeling better than the last several Moonday messages. It's coming into a space of calmness. I'm hearing calm and relaxed, like my body completely relaxed. And so it's this feeling of being able to just open up and relax and let yourself really unwind from all of the things that we've been going through, because it's been a lot lately. So coming back into that space. And the first thing that came out is this Two of Fire. My apologies. Two of Fire? Yes, they're saying that's right. Okay. And this energy is like, it's a balance and alignment with the lower chakras. So lower chakras really are about safety, security, emotions, creation, self-worth. It's the lower three, like root, sacral, and solar plexus chakras, and really being in a space where you just feel comfortable. So last week, I'm just gonna say week because I haven't figured out how to properly shift that yet. But last week may have brought up a lot of stirred emotions. It doesn't feel like it was a heavy week. It just feels like it was in and out, like ups and downs, and just a lot of fast movement. So, maybe just things are just slowing down this week is what they're telling me. Thank you. Things are slowing down. You're coming back into a rebalance, a reset, like a reset of the parasympathetic nervous system. So really being able to just unwind and relax and not be in all of the heightened energies that the last few weeks actually brought up for most of the collective. And then the next one here is the Ace of Water. Yes, the Ace of Water. I don't know why I feel so off with these signs today. And this came through, I believe, in the last Moonday reading. But they're saying right now that it's out of balance. This energy of okay, I'm asking them to go deeper because I just keep hearing out of balance, out of balance. So can you please define that for me, Spirit? What do you mean by out of balance? Overworked. They're telling me like it's like you may have went from like one extreme. This isn't for everybody. This is for a good portion of people though. And they're saying like you may have went from one extreme to the other. It's like from maybe not speaking your truth to over speaking your truth, or vice versa. Like from always being like upfront and almost like confrontational is the energy they're giving me, to like really backing down and just going into like quiet mode. And they're telling you there needs to be a balance that needs to come through for this. So balancing your voice. And I feel like this is really, it's very relevant that it came up right now, because I feel like this is what humanity is growing through, is balancing our voice and learning how to communicate, right? A lot of the problems that happen in the world, in our relationships with others, is the lack of communication, or how we communicate with each other. So one thing that I learned when I was in the dance studio and I was directing the studio is I learned that, my the owner at the time came to me and said, the other instructors think that you have RBF. If you don't know what that is, I'll let you look it up. And I said, well, I'm always happy. I'm always smiling. What are they talking about? And she's like, no, you really have RBF. Like people come in and they think that you're just like moody and mean. And I'm like, well, and I knew that like my students weren't feeling that way, but it was the people that like were around me all day long, right? Because I'm not, when people come in and I am in that energy, when I was in that energy of dance and openness and play, I was happy and I was smiling and I was enjoying the things. But the in-between times when I had to do the desk work, when I had to do the paperwork, I had apparently this RBF where I would just, I wasn't always smiling. I wasn't always like exuding this like radiant, happy, loving, playful energy. And so they're bringing that up because it's like they're wanting you to be more conscious of the way that you are, like instead of going from one extreme to the next. So for myself, instead of going from really happy and playful and open and excited to see my students and be able to teach dance for the day, to, sitting behind a desk and doing paperwork and looking grumpy or looking like I wasn't, having the most exciting time, there needed to be a balance in between, so that I still carried that radiance with me throughout the day. And that's what they're saying. Like you're in this space where you're coming back into a reset of your nervous system, and you're aligned and you're grounded. And they also want you to be in a space where you can be authentic and you can speak your voice and you can be who you are without having to silence yourself in certain situations. So and of course I'm getting like throat Like my throat is like clamping up right now. So definitely the throat chakra is what they're talking about, and you know, the connection between the throat and the sacral, the creation space. And so being in this, you know, they're saying the pendulum is just swinging. It's just interesting. That's why they wanted my pendulum out. It's like, they said show them. So it's like it's swinging back and forth right now to the extremes. It's going from one high to one low, and what you're learning in between is this balancing, this how to come to a safe space where you can be exactly who you are, not have to, like, quote, dumb yourself down for people. And you can also be compassionate and understanding and open with people and where they are on their journey as well. So allowing yourself to work through that this week, that's the only thing that's really out of alignment, is this space of speaking your truth, of being authentic, of allowing yourself to be exactly who you came here to be without having to hide certain parts of yourself, without having to feel like you can't be in integrity because people are going to judge you or be a certain way with you. So really you're in and out of finding that balancing energy right now. The pendulum's still swinging pretty what's the word they want me to use? Extreme from one to the next. And this may not be for you specifically with voice. It may be that you're, you know, swinging from one extreme to the next in regards to creating something, or in regards to making up your mind about something. Like maybe you have a big decision that's come across your energy field, and you're trying to work through this decision, and it's like you keep swinging back and forth to these extremes. Like, okay, yes, it's a go, let's do this, and then you timeline jump to a lower vibration or to a higher vibration, and it's like, nope, we're gonna do this instead. And it's this extreme back and forth, and what the collective is doing at large is balancing that right now. So you may not even, and they're telling me this as I'm saying it, this may not even be your energy, but if you are a sensitive person, if you're highly sensitive like I am, you're feeling this in the collective. You're feeling people go from one extreme to the next. And it's not easy to navigate through the collective in that energy right now. So be sure that you are creating a barrier of light around yourself. I was speaking with my sisters in my sister circle a couple days ago, and one of my sisters brought up, you know, the idea of like not calling in protection, because we don't also want to call in that which we need to be protected for, but actually like creating this space, this bubble around ourselves where we are aligned, and we are not going to allow others to pull us into whatever vibration they're in. It could be like a really super happy high vibration, and we still don't want to be pulled out of our energy. We're here in our, you know, we need to be in our energy and in our presence for a reason, especially right now. And so being in that space where we can kind of stop that swing or slow it down from going from one extreme to the next. And when we're out in collective spaces, instead of being in that protective energy, you know, allowing ourselves to stay in our light, stay in our vibration, and not let anything shine too brightly on us, or not let ourselves shine so brightly that we're blinding others. That was an interesting analogy that came through. Yeah, you know, a lot is being channeled through me in these readings, and it's like as soon as it comes out, I don't even remember what I was saying, because the channel is so strong. So I feel like I'll have to go back and re-listen to this weekly reading as well. But coming up next, they have just very grounded and centered. There's the blossoming. They're showing me like this. Okay, if I can pick it up. this energy of like when we let things go, right? When the trees, like they come into like the fall season and they let go of all of the dead leaves and all of the things that are, through the winter time that they need to purge themselves of. And then because they've purged themselves of the stuff that's not in resonance anymore, then you have all this new growth that comes through and this blossoming. And that's what's happening right now. They're saying that you're in this space of this continuous cycle of rebirth. And they're showing me this portal in the solar plexus. I don't know if you can see it because the lines are really thin. I'll see if I can put it close. But it's this portal in the solar plexus area. And they're saying this is you stepping into your authenticity. It's stepping into knowing your worthiness, knowing that what you're worthy of, and not settling for anything less. And also being so still. Like they're showing me how the image here, the eyes are closed and just very balanced. And wow, now that I put it up close for you all, look at that throat chakra. It is really standing out. So yeah, balancing through that throat. The rest of them all kind of look right around the same size if you look at them. The solar looks a little bit larger, but I feel like that's just because of the snake. But the throat, wow, look at how big that is. It's really coming through that you process through this energy and this balancing of speaking your truth and setting boundaries and being you authentically, and not allowing, they're saying, your lower self or your past self to come through and take control of what's happening in your present moment and what's going to happen in your next present moment. When you get into this balancing energy, when you finally figure out your voice and you figure out exactly how you're going to speak and how you're going to set boundaries and stick to those boundaries lovingly, and be able to, because here's the thing, and this is what they're telling me. There are people, a lot of purging is going on. So there are obviously people that are no longer meant to be in our lives. However, there are people that are meant to be in our lives and will continue to be in our lives. And if you're having a hard time with them right now and things are rough, a bit rocky, then they're saying you've got to work out this balance of speaking your truth and being in integrity and trusting that everything is going to align. The hardest part about speaking our truth is the trusting part, that the trust that everyone, that the people that we're around are going to be in that alignment. And sometimes they're not. Oftentimes they're not going to be in that alignment. And you should still be tapping into and speaking truth from your heart space, no matter what. The truth, like there's that quote, the truth will set you free. And that is, it sounds so cheesy and so corny, and yet it's so powerful. It really is powerful. The truth will set you free. So if you want to be in this space of what's to come, which is this gift, right? It's the universe is giving you this gift, I feel like this is a representation of like the universe waiting. It's like, hey, I have this for you. It's sitting here. It's ready when you're ready. It's right here. You don't have to go anywhere for it. You don't have to do anything special. Like, she almost looks just like, I know annoyed isn't the word. It's not that far, but it's like, all right, when are you going to come get it? When are you going to come get it? And to get it, it's the balancing of self. It's the alignment of self. It's the being able to see where you're out of alignment and work through that, and then speak and be in your truth and be in your integrity, even when it may make somebody else feel a certain type of way. Sometimes people need to go into those feelings. I'll be one to tell you, there have been times where my husband has spoken truth to me and maybe I didn't like it. Even when I was in the dance studio, the owner would speak truth to me. And in that moment, right, my ego wants to come up and be a protector and say like, no, don't talk to me like that. Or no, I don't have to work through that. And there was this defensiveness. And over time, I've learned to not be defensive in that space and to go, okay, what am I hearing? What is this person telling me? Not what are they saying? It's what am I hearing, right? Because we can speak to people in different dimensions, and what they're saying, it may not be what's actually coming out of their mouth, right? Let me redirect that. What we're hearing may not be what's coming out of their mouth. It's like tuning into a radio station and you're listening to one radio station and they're speaking out of another radio station. We may not be hearing what they're saying. It's like that the reminder they're giving me is like in, I think it's Charlie Brown, where they're like wah 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 wah. It's like the teacher speaking, and you can't make, like, you don't know what they're saying, but you know they're saying something. And that's how it is when you're speaking with someone that's in a different dimension, that's in a different vibration or a different frequency. It's like the words are coming out and you're not hearing it the same as what they're saying. So what are you hearing? And then how do you process through that? Because you're hearing what you need to hear. Regardless of what they're saying, you are hearing what you need to hear. Let me say that again. They're really wanting me to get this out there for you guys. Regardless of what someone is saying, you are hearing what you need to hear. Sit with that. Sit with that. What are you hearing? And then go deep with that, especially with people that are triggering for you, especially with people that, you know, press that trigger and get you going. What are they? Don't concentrate on what they're saying. Concentrate on what you're hearing. And then go deep into that. I feel like we just unlocked something with that. It feels very powerful. So let's continue on. What other messages do we have for the collective? Those that are in resonance with this message at this time. What other messages do we have that want to come through for them? Okay. Yeah, it's the, you know, it's the duality versus polarity, right? It's the yin, the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine, the good and the bad, the light and the dark. It's the balancing out of all of it and coming into unity and oneness. And that's the space that the collective, you know, that humanity is growing through and growing into. And light workers are getting a lot closer to that unity and oneness vibration. However, you can be a light worker that's still surrounded by people that are not in your frequency and not in your same vibration. And that could be people in real life. It could be people online, on social media. It could be, you know, many different spaces and places that you can encounter these relationships. And they're saying that it's just this being uniquely you and so divinely aligned that it doesn't affect you, because you're able to actually hear what needs to be heard, process through it, and then align yourself in your highest and best vibration. What else do we have? And so okay, they want me to come back. So then they're like, well, look at the cards that are on the table. Discernment and unity, right? So what am I hearing? How am I discerning what this person is telling me? What, you know, am I taking it at face value, or am I hearing my wounding that's coming up through them, right? People are mirrors. They're mirrors to us. They will mirror back to us what we need to work through so that we can get into a higher vibration, so that we can come into unity. into oneness, into love and happiness, and all of those higher vibrations of gratitude. And so being in that space is what we're going to be processing through for the next several days. What other messages do you have, if any, for... Okay. Yeah, they're saying like, don't let your mind play tricks on you. Don't let your mind play tricks on you, right? Have discernment, because what's coming up, what you're hearing, right? What you're hearing in your head, and this may not even be from a person. It might not even come out of someone's mouth. It could be from your thoughts, from your wounds, from things that you still need to clear and work through, from your inner child. This could be coming from, you know, and what are those thoughts, and how are they shaping your next present moment? Again with the throat. How are they shaping what's to come for you? All right, we got one last card they're telling me for this. One last card, and then we're going to pull an oracle card before we finish up. Ooh, that one went flying. All right. Here we go. The Four of Fire. Yeah. Everything is on target. Everything is on the right path. You are tuned in. You are exactly where you need to be. Things are happening as they are supposed to. You are not off track. You are not out of alignment. You are you are grounded. You are feeling there's this empowerment that's coming through in the next several days, like feeling into self and really being able to comprehend where you are on your journey and what's to come in the next present moment. As long as you don't let these lower vibrations come through and infect your mind, right? Don't let them come. If something comes to your mind and it puts you in a state of fear or anger or rage or resentment or any of those like really deep, like dark lower vibrations, reach out to someone. Come into unity, come into community, reach out to someone and say, and even it could be online. If you don't have anyone to reach out to in person, or you don't feel like you have anyone to reach out to in person, reach out to someone on social media, or reach out, like, you know, my husband has met some of his best friends through comment sections on YouTube. So there are people out there that will listen and will hear you. So if you need to reach out to somebody, reach out and just, you know, make a general statement. I'm feeling a lot of anxiety right now. You'd be surprised at how many other people are also feeling that same anxiety. And then you might go, oh, you know what? Is this mine or is this the collective? If everyone is feeling it, is it because there was a solar flare or there's something going on in, you know, the astrological or in astrology? You know, there's so many factors that can come into this. So take yourself out of it and get into a space where you are tapping into your heart, where when you get into that space, and I've gotten really good at this over the past few years, is like when I get angry, I've rewired my brains, and now I've rewired my brain. It came out as plural. I'm like, why did that come out plural? Because they said it's multidimensionally. Thank you. So I've rewired my brains multidimensionally over practice of doing it over and over and over again to know when I get angry, okay, where is this coming from? First thing I ask is, where is this coming from? If I don't get an answer, then I'll say, is this my anger or is this someone else's anger? And if you don't feel as tapped in, if you don't feel like you can just openly ask a question and intuitively get the download, write it down. Write it down in a journal. Where is this anger coming from? And then just free write. Just start writing whatever comes to mind. And it may be so random and out there. And you might get done with it and go, oh my gosh, I just wrote out where my anger is coming from. I didn't even realize I was holding on to this, right? So ask yourself those questions when you get into those emotions, when you feel resentment. Where is this resentment coming from? Oh, it's because of this situation. Okay, that's surface level, right? Something that just happened is usually a trigger, something that triggers us. And so then go deeper. Okay, what is this telling me? I just got triggered by my husband and I'm feeling resentment because of this. Where else have I felt this kind of resentment before? Oh, I felt this resentment with my father. Okay, what situations caused me to feel this resentment? Okay, and then I start to go into those and I break those down. So start to rewire your brain, our brains, multidimensionally, if you haven't already, to start to process through these things. This is how I connect and process through things so quickly, because I'm able to go into that space. I'm able to take one little thing and go, oh, somebody just cut me off in traffic. How did it make me feel? Well, it made me feel like I was unseen. Like, why didn't they think about my safety, or where are they going so fast? I have all these questions that come to mind, and then I start to back out, zoom out. That is one of my big tips. Zoom out and see it from a higher perspective. Are you safe? Well, yeah, they didn't hit me. Nothing happened, seriously. Are the cars around you safe? Yes, there's nothing happening. They just got into that lane because they needed to get off the freeway. Whatever. I'm just giving you an analogy. And, and then if I'm safe and I'm okay, well, why did that make me feel so unsafe in the moment? Why did I go to that emotion right away? Is it because I'm surrounded by fear, right? The fear of the collective is what's coming up right now. Is it because I'm surrounded by fear that when something happens, I easily go into that space? And is this even mine, or is this the collective's, or is this the people around me, or the people in my car with me? Or a lot of times you'll notice that these energies aren't even yours. And then you can detach from them. You can let go. You can get yourself into a space where you come into alignment with who you are and where you're at. And it'll bring you back into a balance. Okay, we're going to pull one last card. This card comes from the Mystical Shaman Oracle. What last message do we have for them today? Right. The Mystical Shaman. That's funny. There we go. Focus. 38. Yeah. It's the starting over. And this, they're showing me the soul, like this figure of the soul that's coming out of this face here. And they're saying, like, we are connecting and aligning with our highest and best timelines. And in order to do that, for that to happen for us, we've got to come into a space where we are purging all of those lower level timelines that we've created, or that people have created for us. Your dreams have probably been crazy lately. The astral has been nuts. So if you're remembering your dreams, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Clear yourself before you go in. Put that bubble around yourself before you go to sleep at night, or before you rest. And then when you rise up, move energy, get up, clap your hands, snap your fingers, play some music, light some sage or some Palo Santo or some copal or something that, smells good to you, or even use essential oils. You can have, like, maybe you have a diffuser. Open some windows, get some fresh air flowing through your space. Move that energy out. The astral is very dense right now. So it is in the astral, in dream space, we are clearing these lower level timelines, these timelines that weren't just created by us, they're telling me, timelines that may have been created by an ex-lover or by people who you used to be an acquaintance with, or old coworkers or old bosses or whatever it is. It's these timelines that are being cleared that aren't even of our own, and we're clearing them for the collective. So it's been a lot. And we are coming into this alignment. We are coming into the alignment with the oversoul, with the highest self. And so be open and zoom out. Be open to seeing a much larger picture, a much grander scale, the mystical, right? Mystical, mysterious, unknown. It's not, the mystical is not like opening a book and reading it from cover to cover. Mystical is things that happen spontaneously and creatively. So opening yourself up to that. It sounds like it's going to be a pretty chill next few days, several days for us, for the collective. And make sure that you are still working on this alignment in working through the throat chakra, because it's really going to help out. Alrighty, I think that is it. Thank you all so much, and we will see you for the next Moonday reading. Adios.